around Syria and Iraq.
Well, with me now is Saeed Shehata from BBC Arabic. Welcome to you. Good to see you. I suppose the big question is, will these strikes by the US and the UK work?
The indicators are not. There is several reasons for that. In the past, American and the British, when they started doing strikes, air strikes, it didn't end the Houthi attacks on ships and the recent one on American ship. So it's defiance from the Houthi. And even after the latest strike, which happened and target like 36 targets in 13 locations, like missile and drone sites, communication sites, different places in Yemen, still the spokesperson of the Yemeni Houthi group said these attacks, according to his description, will not stop us from supporting the Palestinian people, and it will not pass without a response and a punishment. So there is intention from the Houthi side to carry on. And the past experience since January, strikes of the Americans and the British didn't stop them to do that. Iran also, the Iranian Foreign Ministry said that these attacks, according to their description, it will lead to anarchy and it will lead to instability. It will expand the conflict in the Middle East. So again, it's contrary to what the American and the British said, that they try to contain the conflict in Gaza and the Middle East, not to go outside. But like all the indicators, the conflict expanding outside, and the trade is affected, and even like American targets or bases were hit since October, since the war in Gaza, and more than 170 targets in American bases in Iraq and Syria, and most of them are vulnerable targets for these kind of groups. So the groups in Iraq, the Islamic resistance in Iraq, which has an umbrella of different groups like Kataib Hezbollah and others, they are defined, and they are saying that they're doing that to support the Palestinian people. So unless the situation and the deal happen and ease the tension and withdrawal of the Israeli troops and helping people to get aid in Gaza, I think these attacks will carry on.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is when it comes to the Houthi attacks on shipping, while they say it's in support of the Palestinians and they're targeting Israeli-owned or affiliated ships, that's not the case, is it? They are targeting ships that belong to many different countries or based in many different countries.
Unfortunately, they're doing that in order to make disturbance in the Red Sea, because about 15% of the trade through the sea going through this area, Red Sea and Suez Canal. So major shipping companies move to a longest way, which lasts about 9 days extra than the trip through, or the route through the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. So it raised like the cost of that to billions of pounds. And even Rishi Sunak, in his statement on 12th of January, when he talked about the strikes against the Houthi, said this because of like the Houthi attacks increasing the cost of the commodity, and this will affect the consumers all over the world. And after the problem, after the pandemic and the Ukrainian war, the world, they try to revive, they try to recover from these economic problems. But these the Houthi attacks on the Red Sea, I think it will add to the economic problems, and it might, like lead to frustration. So I think the Houthi plays on the pressure from the Western people, from the Western government. If they touches their pockets, it might make like demonstration, influence the policymakers in order to make a breakthrough in the Gaza war front in order to achieve peace and ceasefire. So this might help. So this, in the opinion of the Houthi, will it happen or not? The American and the British are defined, the Houthi are defined, the other groups in Iraq are defined. So all of them. So it looks like escalation more than de-escalation in the area, and this like is not good news for economy, for civilian, and for the whole world.
Of course, Hamas also have to agree a deal here, don't they? A ceasefire, and conditions are on both parties to do that. The UK government, the Foreign Secretary, blaming Iran, saying that they are behind all of these groups, this so-called axis of resistance, the Houthis, Hezbollah, and other groups in the Middle East who are targeting US sites and Israel. What influence do you think Iran has right now in terms of being able to control these groups?
I think Iran has a big influence. all like many reports coming out from research centers and from intelligence reports saying that Iran using these groups in order to have influence in the region, and there is like anger from some countries. And recently the Egyptian foreign minister talked with his counterpart in Iran, telling him like we need to be like calm in the area because the Suez Canal revenues like lost about 40% of its revenues because the ships going through the longer way. So there is, I think Iran has a big role in order to influence these people. But the problem is Iran and America are not in a good terms. And there is a problem of the nuclear program and the other issues. So I think Iran using this kind of like influence in the region to achieve their own interests. But the American doesn't like to concede or make any concessions. So unless there is a concession between Iran and the American, I think the situation will be, I think, worse and worse. So Iran has a big influence, but I think America need to negotiate with them, not using the military or arms, because it will lead to more escalation.
Saeed, thank you.